because I paid for an account because I'm tired of prior to this it was like we can only do it for 40 minutes.
Oh, there's a cap on it?
When you don't have a paid account, yeah, there's a cap on it. It's crazy. Because I
I
paid
didn't
for
know
an
that.
account. Because I'm tired of prior to this it was like we can only do it for 40 minutes.
Oh, there's a cap on it?
Uh, okay, so it is also live on YouTube. It's live streamed.
Okay. So now is the time when you want me to start like cursing and doing all the crazy stuff, right?
All the crazy stuff, yeah, like
Right.
just,
On it.
Act out. Start acting out.
and I'm gonna go ahead and start getting to the cloud as well. Actually, I think I'm just gonna let it record live on YouTube because then it'll live there. It should live there. Let's see, hold on. No, I'm not leaving the meeting. What the heck? Never.
Yo, Wes, you know what I got that's crazy right now in the game industry? That EA layoff. You hear about that?
Blow my mind with some divine truth, my brother.
Dude, so Battlefield 6 was like the best-selling action video game of last year, beat out COD, all that stuff, all the goodies,
Yeah.
and then like literally this past weekend, EA fired like a bunch of people from all those studios, and we're like, how do you remove your workforce when you just ship like the best-selling game, and then like right now the game like content-wise is like really struggling, and they're just downsizing. It really pulled a bait and switch on like the whole community, and it's pretty wild to see like this game that's really outstanding just got its life support pulled. It's kind of sad to see and stuff, crazy stuff.
I mean, a lot of it doesn't surprise me a ton. If I'm being real, like you hear about like the stuff with Microsoft, right?
Yeah,
Where they're
yeah,
talking about
yeah,
doing the Microsoft AI assistants
yeah,
for like everything. Like I feel like it's gonna be harder and harder to get a job in the industry.
yeah. In the game
Like,
industry, yeah, it sucks because you
man,
see all this talent just disappear overnight, and it's like, how do you retain those type of special individuals who have a passion for creating stories and creating games? It's wow, very hot, a very volatile environment. Um,
you just gotta bank on those indie studios.
yeah, and
Because I
that's
mean,
that's where it's at. Yeah, the indies, I would agree.
do we have a YouTube link by the way?
Yeah, I will
I forgot.
paste I will put it in the chat here in a second because I'm posting it on my Facebook right now. Uh there you go. Okay. So we'll go ahead here in a second and start doing the introductions. Now that it's almost 8:15. Um, okay, hold on. Francisco wants the Zoom link. Hold on. Oh my geez. Okay, well, I'll go ahead now and introduce myself. So, hello everybody. My name is Silomina Rios. I am a Marine Corps veteran, and I wouldn't consider myself a gamer, but I do have a long history with gaming, including used to play like the Atari games like Centipede and Frogger. In high school, I played a lot of arcade games like Tekken and Mortal Kombat. I just started playing Fortnite like in November, and I like to play the Spider-Man games. But most of my gaming stuff has come, knowledge of it has come from my children. And I used gaming as a way for my children to learn to write and communicate and do problem solving because they were not initially schooled in public school. We did something called unschooling. So I like to utilize platforms that they were interested in. And I started thinking more about what gaming has to offer sometime in the fall when my kids were trying to get me to start gaming so we can communicate because most of them don't live where I live. And after I went to Student Veterans American Leadership Institute, I'm like, I wonder what gaming has to offer in the form of leadership, like what it can do. So I started doing my research and found out the VA has done studies on it. And then at SVA's NatCon, I ran into some people with American Legion Gaming. And we have one person here right now, and I will read his bio. We have Wes. So Wes Lewison is a Navy veteran who served at the forefront of military marketing, winning national awards for marketing, recruiting, and innovation. After meeting Jared, should be on later, he fell in love with the idea of utilizing video games to help veterans and begged him, like a petulant child, to let him play too as the CMO for American Legion Gaming. Anything you want to add to that, Wes?
I mean, not really. I got I got really lucky, and the last half of my career, I was a permanent recruiter for the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I was the qualified. So I was the MAO for the Philadelphia area, and then I got to go lead the national team for a number of years. And it was really, really cool because before I got there, there hadn't really been a lot of work done in the video game space.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, the same time that I got here, they were bringing in like 3 or 4 of these other people that were kind of exploring things across different avenues. And I was kind of like the social media guy that they brought up. But I got to go meet the gaming guy, my buddy Doug Armstrong, and it was just he got me like really, really into it, and like he kind of turned me into a gamer. So then meeting Jared, getting to do all of this was like this really cool, just perfect kismet thing.
Cool. All right. Next, we'll introduce Yefer Andrade, who is an Army veteran and a student veteran at Cal State University San Bernardino, who has a deep passion for video games that started before he could walk, and ever since video games has become a staple in his life. He said he loves to speak about video games and all the aspect that comes with the design, writing, gameplay, music, etc. He can literally deep dive for hours about video game lore, history, and future of games. It's wild video games evolve over the decades since its inception. This passion for video games is extremely delicate and is something that he holds very sacred. Is there anything you want to add to that, Yefer?
Yeah, I just love video games. It's been there with my life before I joined the military, during and after, and it's just been there, and it's helped me. It saved my life in so many ways, and it's something that anyone could enjoy and have fun. And there's so many different aspects for any type of consumer, whether it be puzzles or action, a drama, story related. There's something there for everyone. So it's there.
Yeah. Okay. So what I want to ask both of you, and I'll let Wes answer first and then go to Yefer. What is the first video game that kind of brought you in to take gaming more seriously than just something passive to do?
Probably Fallout, honestly. Like that was huge for me. Specifically Fallout New Vegas. Because it had Fallout New Vegas like turned into this whole big like game that was getting played all over the sub. And I saw people coming together to talk about it like after they got off watch. People were bringing their computers and their consoles together to give each other advice and like connect. And I really saw it expand past the screen for the first time there. And that was really cool.
That is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Okay, what about you, Yefer?
Yeah, for me, I was born in 97, so I saw like the first modern inceptions of video games. So, right there in the late 90s, early 2000s, GTA 3 came out in like 2002, I believe. So like GTA 3, Halo Combat Evolved, these first games that really stepped it up a notch for modern gaming. GTA 3 changed the whole 3D landscape for open world gaming. It was the first open world simulator where you can actually do whatever you want in a way. And that was a new world for me because just I was a little kid and I'm over here jacking cars, shooting, putting in cheat codes for a tank and all this stuff. No, yeah, I'm all for it. I was
No,
blowing people's heads off in GTA 3 as like a freaking 3, 4 year old. Wow, yeah, I know. And then playing Halo, killing aliens, killing the Flood, like what? Learning about Master Chief, Cortana, seeing Sergeant Major Johnson, like that really like brought it out. And also Resident Evil, that's the horror aspect. I had that, and Resident Evil, it's still ongoing. There's like 30 mainline games, and it I used to have my friend walk me across the street back to my house after playing Resident Evil. You know, that it was that serious. I took it serious. So those were like the top three games for sure. GTA for sure though. Really opened my world.
so
Huh?
so again, I'm going to ask this question. Wes can answer first, and then Yeafer. Um, when you were first playing, think about like Yeafer. You said you've been playing for like 1,000 years already. When did you really start playing, Wes? When did you first get serious? Like, how old were you?
I think my first serious interaction with video games was probably, the playground in middle school playing Pokemon Red and Blue. I think I got into my
Mhm.
first ever fist fight because of that game. Um, I just didn't ever think it was gonna like connect anything bigger. I thought it was like this subset. It was this microcosm within life that you went and you did. It was like working out. It was what your favorite food was. It wasn't, intrinsic to who you were as a person.
Yeah.
It didn't impact or affect the way you interacted with the world. Um, but hindsight's 2020, and I guess having something like that be the your introduction into fistfights probably should have struck me sooner.
No, I get that because I know that there was a period of time, and again, this is mostly through the lens of like, my children, their experience where video gaming was seen more like a lazy hobby and not a sport like it is now compared to like kids that play baseball or football. But there are those kids that did play physical sports that also were really heavy into gaming at some period. At what point did you learn, or did you never really think about how you were learning about playing these games, especially cooperative games, about strategic planning and decision making? Did it ever occur to you that you were doing that?
Um, I think getting into tiny little arguments in the computer lab in like sixth grade, playing Command and Conquer,
Mm.
like like that OG Red Alert life, um, it really brings out the strategy because we'd all be sitting there like trying to speed run levels against each other because you only got 45 minutes in the period, and like really having to like dial in because like we'd come into that class with like notebooks full of plans, and we'd be staying up late night like thinking about like what we were gonna do next Wednesday when we got to go in there and go do it again. So I think it kind of builds that in you from childhood,
So
and
thinking
especially
about
if you play variety.
yeah. What about you, Yafer?
Yeah, very similar to Wes. Like I brought the gaming back to school, the Game Boy Color, two AA batteries. That's all you needed, and you play Pokemon all day. And I'll bring like action figures of the video game characters and just bring that world to school. But then at the time, early 2000s, like you just said, gaming was seen as this taboo, lazy hobby. But I didn't care, if so, just like Wes said, if there's an issue, there's probably a fist fight. Especially for me coming from this troubled background, gaming was an escape from that world too. And then also, but in those gaming worlds, like they were very violent and action oriented, which mirrored my personal life. So I would bring that back to school, cause violence. Like if someone like hated like on my video game or said I was like a nerd because I had my Game Boy, like I'm gonna throw sand in your eyes and you're gonna get like jumped by all these nerds or by myself. I didn't care. Um, and it was just a great thing to be passionate about, even though like I kind of had to hide it at times. But it was there and I loved it. Like it was me all day, every day.
So, I'm gonna ask you guys both the same question. Uh, when you first started gaming, did you prefer puzzle games or games that were like solo player, or did you automatically prefer collaborative games from the beginning?
For me, oh no, I was a hogger. Like when I first first got my GameCube, the purple one. I had every GameCube, the gray one, the black one, the purple one, like the main one. There's like the orange ones and stuff. But when I got my GameCube, oh, I did not let my little brother touch that. It was crazy because I just wanted to play by myself because was like I said, it consumed me, and I just wanted just for me, because it was a very delicate story. Like the single player games, it's you and your character, right? And then
Yeah.
you connect with that character. That's your character, your journey. So I really just wanted to play single player. But when I played cooperative games, yeah, it was fun. I with my little brother, we played Halo on Legendary, in the early days, and other games throughout time. And then when I realized I could play a lot of co-op games by myself, like for example, going back to Halo, I'll play Halo Legendary, have the second controller in the back, and then use that as a mobile respawn and just go and kill all the aliens, die real quick, respawn immediately. Because if you have two players and you both die, it takes longer to load and stuff. So I was trying to find ways to beat the system through cooperative play, but by myself. But I always enjoyed cooperative play. You have your fighting games, Mortal Kombat, your friendly competitions with all the kids in the neighborhoods and things like that. And with my brothers, I had an older brother and little brother. We just play games all day, and it was just fun connecting with them that way as well.
Yeah. What about you, Wes?
For me, it was a form of competitive expression right out the gate. Like Pokemon, I was like, I know that I can go home and grind for 6 hours, come to school tomorrow, and just beat the hell out of the other kids. Like, I've got a big family, so I got a ton of siblings, and like, you know, it was always this constant competitive mentality. Um, and so I loved doing that. Same thing with like Halo. Like that's to me, it started with competition and then kind of overflowed into cooperation and like team exercises because I realized that the better your team is, the better you do,
Yep.
and it just kind of evolved from there.
Now, can you kind of connect the dots on how being more open and being a better collaborative player transferred into what you did in the military and how you, if you were in a leadership position, how you led, or when you were not in a leadership position, how you were able to follow the rules of your people that were above you? Did it prepare, do you see any way that it prepared you for life in the military?
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, uh, when I teach marketing and stuff, I always break everything down into this kind of like three-stage process for any type of like promotional run. So it's you have to have a purpose, a process, and then a product that you want to see as an end result. But that unification of purpose, I think, really comes from a life growing up as a gamer. Because the first thing you ever have to do in a video game is immerse yourself in that environment and figure out what the purpose of your existence and engagement is there, and then immediately become adaptable to a process and realize that you're not going to be able to handle everything yourself. So there might be three switches that three players all have to go hit simultaneously to open a door. You're never going to be able to fulfill that by yourself. So there will be circumstances, no matter what, where you cannot act alone, and you have to be able to adapt to it. And then the product, if you want to win, if you want to achieve that final goal, you have to meet whatever the process demands of you in doing that. So working together, communicating effectively and being able to meet that process demand is ingrained in, I think, every single gamer right out the get-go, because that's what you have to do to win a game.
What about you, Yafer?
Yeah, it really prepared me a lot because in a lot of games there's roles, there's classes depending on the type of game. For example, Battlefield. Battlefield's a very action war game, but you have roles, classes, very specific roles where if you choose a role, you can only be within those parameters. And being a young kid playing all the Battlefields, 1942, Bad Company 2, all that, Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Hardline, all these games, 1, 5, 6, 2042. It prepared me a lot because it is a competitive game because you have one side against the other side and there's a winner and a loser.
Mhm.
But with that, you have to plan accordingly and do certain steps. You can't just go out and rush a tank on the C flag. It'll be nice to have a recon, like distracting it, and then you have your engineer shoot it from the back with an RPG or something like that. So there's a lot of coordination and a lot of communication that comes with that. On other games, like on cooperative play too, like for example, Left 4 Dead. If my character is almost dying, if I don't got no pain pills or a med kit, but the homie has one, he can heal me. He's playing his role, and it the more unified your team is, the better you are. For example, I play a lot of competitive Battlefield 6. I need like killers. Like I can't train you. I need you ready to rock and roll, know your role, know how to play. I don't need to be babying you because that's gonna take time. It's gonna uh, cause me to communicate different words where it's not necessary. I don't have to say these specific things, but it's cool because you all play as a team, and each team or each team member in a role helps each other out and supports each other. So it's just cooperative play on a very cool level, I think. And for example, just to close it out, like we used to play Arma in the military. Like when I was in the military, we would run battle drills on Arma and all this crazy stuff. Like, even using it as a training tool, how to move under fire and all this stuff like that. It's just another way of simulating your environment. When you can't, you're not at the range or something, you get creative. So it's cool to do things like that.
It's interesting to me, not interesting, but I like that you talked about Battlefield. I've never played it, but again, some of my kids do. But like I said before, I had been doing research on this topic, and Battlefield is a game that came up a lot. And with the things I was reading, and it wasn't just like Discord stuff or Reddit stuff. There's scholarly research on this topic of video gaming and leadership, and Battlefield is a game that they talk about the most because of there's so much strategic planning, the communication has to be there, and the people very carefully build their teams. And
Mhm.
building teams of people you may never meet in real life. So that leads my next question. Have either of you met anybody in real life that you became friends with through gaming? Wes?
Yeah, my best friend of over a decade. Um, this guy named Mark. If you're watching or if you see this, hey buddy. Um, we had been playing games together for about a year before we realized we were both in the Navy. Um, and then a couple months after that, we realized that we were stationed at the same base. And then like a couple months after that, we realized that, we were both on submarines at the time. And it turns out that he was like 2 blocks down from me, like the whole time. And then, we've been best friends ever since. We've met up a ton of times in our life and everything. And like, he's my best friend. So
Okay.
that was a cool one for me.
What about you, Yeffer?
Yes, I met a couple. They're great people. Some of them were actually in the military. It's kind of funny. I'll tell you this story. When I was at Camp Casey, my last duty station, I met someone on Call of Duty. I was playing. What was that? Cold War was out at the time, and I was playing it. I met this dude on there, and he was actually in a unit down up the road. He was in the field artillery unit, and then he knew one of the sergeants I knew back in my previous post. I was like, I was like, this is so crazy. Like, this dude I know, and you're down the road, and I'm at this new duty station with no connection to anyone. And somehow I got a connection to this guy through a video game. It's so crazy how things work like that. Um, and it's just amazing because you build those friendships and they help you in so many different ways, whether it's just a friend that's online you talk to, or you actually meet up and actually talk about life, and they help you out with things like that. It's just an amazing friendship to build online and transfer that into the real world. It's even better, I think.
One of the reasons I asked that question is because my oldest son, via Discord, made a friend. We were living in San Bernardino when they became friends, actually. And this guy, I was gonna say kid, but they're like almost 30 now, lived on the Washington when my son was 19 and he was trying to figure things out. I'm like, I asked him like, where do you want to be? Like, where do you want to go? Do you want to be here or do you want to be somewhere else? And he's like, why have the opportunity to go to Tacoma with Hobby? And I'm like, so let's make it happen. And it was all because they met on Discord and started video gaming. Now my son lives in Tacoma. They still game together. They were roommates for a long time, but people grow up. My son's now married, but even now his wife, they'll all get on with this group of friends up there because of this one friend he made like when he was 13. on Discord playing games. And
That's dope.
I just love it and how they've made their own community up there. And before we get any further, we have Jared here now. Jared is a Marine Corps veteran and the CEO of American Legion Gaming, where he leads efforts to connect veterans and service members through gaming and digital communities. With more than 15 years of experience in journalism, marketing, and multimedia production, he focuses on building partnerships between the gaming industry and veteran organizations to create new opportunities for veterans. Thank you, Jared, for being here. Do you want to answer the last question I asked?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for reading my bio. I had AI generate that, so I was hoping it was good. I was hoping you liked it. Yeah, I can't think of anyone that I met playing online, and then remained friends with, except that one guy who groomed me when I was 12. We don't talk about that, but no, seriously, but playing with friends that I haven't seen, in a long time, being able to bridge that digital divide.
Mhm.
I think it's important. I've got a buddy who I grew up with before I joined the Marine Corps. He actually joined the Navy after I joined the Marine Corps. We actually missed each other by a couple of months on the Marine Expeditionary Unit, so we could have been on the same ship for a little while if he had joined a couple months earlier. So it was kind of a weird coincidence, but yeah, so he's in Japan now, and we'll occasionally play video games to catch up. I'll play video games with my kids when I'm traveling. Everyone plays video games nowadays, right? I mean, you've got a computer in your pocket, so
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, so my next question is, you personally, how do you believe that video games have made you better leaders, whether it's, the head of your house, in an organization, while you were in the military, or even like in your friend group? Because sometimes there's always a couple of messy people in the friend group. We'll start with Wes.
I mean, if I can start my answer with a request that we loop back with an answer from you on who the messy people in your friend group are, because I saw the shade that you sprinkled on that as you asked the question, and now I'm very curious.
Well, who are the messy people
Um,
in my friend group? Probably me. I'm not going to call anybody out, but no, there's a couple messy girls, and most of my friends are men, and yeah, there's a really messy guy in Oregon, but I love him. He's my friend. So he's an Air Force veteran. Hopefully he's not watching this with his wife, because then I'm gonna get a text.
I mean, for me, it's turned into a lot of that old adage of like trust but verify in games, knowing that there's no line of communication that is ever going to be infallible. So being able to create cross sections and see things for yourself. Like Jared is my boss, and like he really likes to give me bad information because he thinks it's funny. He'll just kind of. So I've learned that if the game says, "Hey, this is the rule," I'm still gonna go test it. I want to go see if I can jump off that bridge and survive. I'm gonna go test and see how much damage this gun actually does, to truly get an understanding of the world around me and what my limitations are in it, and instead of just reading rules from a book or a player guide and going with it. And once you've done that, it unlocks this really cool ability to teach others, because now you can guide everyone else. And like I think that's really where the leadership element comes into play, because you can never really guide someone else in something that you yourself do not understand. So if you train yourself to seek understanding first, you will be able to guide others second.
I like that answer. What about you, Yafer?
Yeah, for me, I take a lot from video games. For first, I want to share. I didn't grow up without a father. Like single mother household. So in a way, these video game characters and themes I took as life lessons because I didn't have any other guidance. I didn't have positive role models in my life. And these video game characters are very heroic, stoic characters. So I would take aspects from them and try to learn from them And there's so many aspects to learn from these video games. For example, Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid is a tactical espionage game created by a Japanese company, Konami. Hideo Kojima is like he's like my video game god. And in those games, there's so many lessons of philosophy, world ideology, psychology, society, culture, language, all these aspects that I took for myself, and in ways they were in my life, navigating, especially in the military. Because in the military, that's when I really got to navigate all these different cultures and identities and languages that I never got exposed to. But in the video game, I was exposed to that in a way. And it just prepared me, and it was just really cool because I got to see it and in the video game setting, and I actually got to meet uh these people or whatever it may be, and it was just like, whoa, this is cool. And taking these ideas from these heroic characters, how to lead people, how to be strong how to fight for your people, how to lead people, how to have someone under you and bring them up with you to fight another day or something like that. So I'll take these aspects of these characters and just implement it in my life.
What about you, Jared?
Ask me the question again. I'm sorry, I was giving directions.
Okay. That's not an excuse, but okay, just kidding. So no, the question is like, how do you think that the video games that you've been playing have helped you in leadership, whether it's while you're in the military, what you do now, or even in your family?
Yeah, I mean, one of the examples that I love using is the PC game Squad. It was actually based on Battlefield 2, so I'm glad that we beat that theme into the ground. But you have a squad of 10. You have a squad leader. The squad can't do anything without teamwork. I mean, you can't win. You have 10 other squads on your team that rely on you, and so as a leader, you have to push forward with the creation of habitats, bases, right? And as a squad leader, you don't have a shovel, so you yourself cannot build that hab. And the only way that your team wins the game is by creating those habs. And so, as a leader, you have to be convincing enough. You have to be authoritative enough to have that command presence, to get people to use their shovels to create your base, to listen to you and say that we're point A, point B, point C. Because if they don't listen, then then you're off track and you lose. And then above those 10 other squads, you have the commander who is elected. Each of the squad leaders elects the commander, who runs for commander, and then you get to vote for them, and you can open up various tactical assets that can help your side win the game. And I love the I mean, it's not really an arcade shooter. It's not technically a simulator. It's somewhere in between. Yeafer, have you played it? Squad?
Yes, I'm a hardcore Battlefield fan. I
Yeah,
spent
oh,
so
man.
many hours on Commander alone.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Battlefield's great. I just like Squad's the reason I bought or I built my PC. The PC that I have now, when the RTX 3090 came out, I was like, all right, I'm getting that so that I can play Squad, that and PUBG. But in terms of cooperation, and to Wes's point about having to have that knowledge to be able to be in a place where you can shepherd others. It's the same as Squad. I mean, if you don't know the rules of the game, you can't lead. I mean, that's it. And it's the same in life. I'm sure it's the same in SVA. We all served. We know that as in the military, as you rise through the ranks, you have people who can be compelled to do what you want them to do because they have to do what you tell them to do or they get in trouble. With volunteers, it doesn't work that way. They'll tell you to kick rocks, and so you have to have a little bit more finesse, and usually, as within the military, as within volunteerism, the more you know, and the more you can articulate that knowledge, the better you can be as a leader. So, go squad, go battlefield,
Yep, go squad,
go,
go
go
battlefield.
team.
Great
Okay.
games, great.
My next question is for anybody that's in a leadership position, whether they're a veteran or a civilian, a normal person, and they were thinking about getting into gaming, what would be the game that you would recommend them to start with? And we'll start with Wes.
This is going to be a weird, super niche one that I think maybe 4 people have ever heard of, but it's something called Indie Trainer. It is an old text-based game, and the Indy comes from the USS Indianapolis. It taught math skills and like reverse engineering of problems through text across multiple machines. So you had to communicate things like verbally, like in person, in order to coordinate the elements of a video game with no visual display. So it was all communication skills. You can get your hands on it. It's open source, but it will change the way you interact with the team if you play it, like hands down.
Okay, Yafer, your turn.
This is a very hard one. Like there's so many, but I'm a huge zombie fan, but like fast-paced zombies. So I'm just say Left 4 Dead 2. The reason why I'm a huge 28 Days Later fan, and it's the closest thing that you'll get to it, but it's a very short, fast-paced game. All it is get to point A to point B, kill all the zombies in the way, and that's it. It's very simple. Like anyone could play it. Yeah, it's just fun, arcadey zombie action. I think it's just a good gameplay loop for that.
When you said you're a zombie fan, it's like, is he gonna say Plants vs. Zombies? I'm just joking.
That's actually a really good game.
No, it is. It is.
Garden Warfare. Oh my God, it's a really good game.
All right, Jared, your turn. You're up.
Yeah, zombies, man. I used to love playing Left 4 Dead. My sister got into Left 4 Dead. I think it was 4. Was it 4? And we'd play that together. And before, she's my half sister, so we didn't really spend a lot of time together in her let's say formative years. She's in college now. She's out of the country, and I think we bonded over zombies. And I was never really into zombie games before that. I was never really into horror, films or games or anything like that. But just being able to play something that she was really into was was kind of fun. Plus, playing as a zombie was really fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next question, and we'll start with Wes and like circle back around again, is what leadership roles are you currently in your life?
Oh God, I'm like really busy a lot. So I own a media company. We're not huge, but we're not small. So we do commercial production, and we're winding down now because of the business with ALG. I'm currently serving as the Chief Marketing Officer for American Legion Gaming. I also just recently signed on as the Chief Marketing Officer for another organization called Always Get Back, which I'm super excited for. I highly encourage people to go check out. Very similar space. It's a very collaborative environment there. I also serve as Director of Marketing for the One Man, One Mic Foundation. I also have a private LLC for my podcast. So I've got a decent sized team that runs production for that. And then I've got a sponsorship LLC that I do for private enterprise.
You can go ahead and put any of the links in the chat if you want for people to check out. Yafer.
Yes. I'm the president of the Student Veteran Organization on campus. So the veteran club, the SVA club, basically. Also, I'm the coordinator for the National Security Club on campus. That's my program, crime analysis and intelligence with an emphasis on homeland security. I'm also a student worker at the Office of Student Research. That's pretty much it.
You're also a Leadership Institute fellow.
Oh yes, Leadership
Yeah.
LI fellow.
That's how I know
totally.
you.
Don't forget that.
Oh
Yeah.
my, it slipped my mind. I'm sorry. I have a lot in my head right now, but
You're
When
yeah.
I
good.
went through college, I wish I would have gone through SVA. I hung out at the Veterans Resource Center. So actually I went through community college first, and then did my after that. When I did my master's, it was online, so I was hardly ever on campus, so I didn't really do anything much on campus. But I was familiar with SVA, and I kind of regret not being more active. But again, I was active at the Veteran Resource Centers and kind of hung out, not really active on a leadership level, or I didn't really take very much responsibility. I was just there to kind of hang out every once in a while, and had some friends there, and then that kind of carried over into my relationships with the American Legion and members there. But in terms of leadership roles that I have now, I am the adjutant for the Palisades American Legion post. It's Pacific Palisades, California. It's like West Los Angeles, basically north of Santa Monica. And then I'm basically like the chief operating officer there. So that's local. It's my local gig. So half the time we operate as a foundation, offering grants to veteran related organizations, mostly in Southern California, but also a couple outside of SoCal. And then I'm also active at the department level. I'm the chair of the Media Communications Commission for the American Legion's Department of California. I'm also the vice chair of the gaming committee. That's been around for a couple of years. I am a senior editor for the California Legionnaire, which is the Department of California's publication. We just moved away from print, and now we're strictly online. So I manage the website. And then on the national level, I sit on an advisory council for media and communications for the National American Legion organization. So that's pretty much it right now. I'm like now that I work full time American Legion at the local level, it's like consumed my life.
Time
Am
out.
I freezing? Am I frozen?
No, you're not. You're not.
You're my boss. You're literally the guy in charge of containing my ADHD every day, and I didn't even merit a blurb. That's cool.
I didn't even make.
Apparently, I'm not putting you through your paces
Sorry.
enough. Understand all. Challenge accepted.
And I'm the CEO of American Legion Gaming, which is soon to be nationally recognized by the organization. We're making strides in spreading this awareness across the country. This wonderful marketing initiative using video games to spread camaraderie in the veteran community. And we'd love to like we talked about in at the Colorado Springs. How can we integrate gaming into SVA chapters?
Yeah.
Right. We'd love to see competitions, community play, all that great stuff, which is why you put together this fireside chat.
It is actually kind of one of the reasons. Yeah, I know that for the Leadership Institute, the fellows, there's quite a few people that do game on a serious level. Some of them aren't here for everybody has things they're doing, but this is being recorded and it's going to be posted. It's live right now on YouTube, actually being live streamed. And I think that's something that is not just a good recruiting tool for American Legion, but having esports teams that are, student veterans is a good recruiting tool for SVA as well. On campuses where some people are unsure of like if they want to be part of a veterans community, because that is something that's been discussed, is that some veterans won't self-identify on campuses because of whatever the campus culture might not feel very welcoming. I know I didn't feel like my campus culture was very welcoming because I'm at a private art and design school, but I've made it welcoming on my own. We just put in a grant request to have a Veterans Resource Center on campus, and hopefully that comes through before I leave, and so we can have an esports team there for veterans, and also being a recruiting tool for our campus for veterans, because I know quite a few that are interested in things like game design, because that's a major at our school, and filmmaking, but so is also transportation design and animation are some of the other majors at our school. And I know these are things that a lot of people don't realize, that they're creative outlets that are doable, and a lot of them you can refer back to gaming because you can design vehicles to go in games, right? You can animate the game. You can write a script for a game that's about your experience in the military. You never know.
Yeah.
Possibilities. If you like snow in Michigan.
I'm actually writing a video game right now. Not programming, the screenplay and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Completely just top of my brain.
Yeah,
It's a lot of, but it's great. It's great.
cool. All right, now I'm gonna flip the tables, because I told you guys, like, I wouldn't call myself a gamer. I like games, like reading them. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I mean, I've got one right out the gate.
Okay.
When you say messy people in a friend group, how do you define messy? Let's explore this.
Okay,
Let's hear some tea.
my definition of messy is like, say you got that friend that's always asking relationship advice but never takes it. And so they cry about the same thing, for months and years. Messy could also be, like, I'm trying to put it nicely. People that seek out drama or self-sabotage.
You did start the original answer to that by saying you're the messy one.
Oh, I can be the messy one.
Okay.
Yeah, I can be. But like, it's because I have ADHD.
Yeah,
So my
I'm the
messy
messy
is
one
like,
too.
if you see this, this is messy. So this is my version of messy. Ours
That's
messier.
literally messy. Yeah.
Ours messier before, and not like this, but like before I started going to the vet center for therapy, my brain was messy and I misbehaved a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Things I wouldn't want my children to do nor hear about, of course.
Sounds fun.
You're gonna open the gate up again? All right. So what kind of things would you not want your children to hear about that a hypothetical messy person in your group would have done?
How about not tell anybody where they were going and hitchhike up to Forest Falls for a weekend and just hide out? Or say somebody had just gotten out of the Marines, was working at a casino, and just left randomly for a whole weekend to San Diego with some Marine for just to do it and not tell anybody where they were going. So when you got home, this was before I had a cell phone. I left it at home. Okay. This was in the 90s. I just didn't take it everywhere. Go home to a bunch of voice messages, people thinking you got murdered. I just like to wander. I'm a wanderer. And that's why when I moved to Michigan for school, I bought a house. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm done here. Let's leave.
Or blind.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? What about you, Yefer?
You into the old American West by any chance?
Did
Like
I what?
Are you into like cowboys and all that stuff?
I actually got like 6 Stetsons. I grew up rural in California in Cabazon, and I actually used to exercise my neighbor's horses all through the desert with my Doc Martens and my Cure t-shirt, and ride it. We had a little store there called the Cabazon Country Store that had hitching posts for.
The reason why I say that, because I want to share a game with you. It's probably one of the best video games
Okay.
ever created and written. Uh, Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, like I don't it's very hard to say it's like a perfect game, but like it's not for everyone because it's a very slow cinematic game. and that could burn people out, turn them off because it's not instant like action, satisfaction, and all this stuff. So it's a slow burn, but the writing, the lore, the detail of every little thing is simply handcrafted for you to discover and notice those fine little details. It's there's so much to explain, but you play as a cowboy, an outlaw, and you're in a gang, and I'm not going to get into it, but it really captures the American during the Old West. That at the end of it's at the end of the gunslinger age. So you're
Okay.
seeing the modernization from the East coming into the West, and it's just a memory lane trip through America, and it's just an amazing game. And I highly recommend just digging into a little bit in that world.
Probably help me focus
I
better
second
than
that.
darting around all the time. I think like things that like even when I watch movies when they're slow and there's like a storyline, not always a bunch of dialogue, I notice that it helps me focus on it more than if it's something like a lot of action. I'll just get up and walk out sometimes because it's not keeping my attention. There's too much to follow. It depends on the movie though. But yeah, what about you, Jared? Any questions?
I didn't prepare any questions for you. I
You-
know you and I talked a little bit
Yeah.
during Colorado Springs.
Mhm.
Are you how much longer are you a student? How much longer does SVA have you?
I am in the second semester of my junior year. So I have one
Okay.
more year and I graduate with my BFA in interdisciplinary art and design with a minor in art therapy.
Oh, right on.
And then who knows what's after that?
Yeah.
Wherever the wind blows me.
Wherever the
Wandering.
wind.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll probably wander somewhere.
I might just like I was telling my kids, I'm like, well, my youngest lives with me, but when she goes with her dad that summer, I might just take my Harley and go on a long ride and see what happens.
I've always wanted to get a motorcycle.
Yeah, I bought one last year. I got a 2021 Softail because like I can reach it. I'm short, I'm 5'2", so I can reach it without being on my tiptoes. And
Yeah.
the arm length to the handlebars, perfect.
Nice. Yeah, I've never ridden.
Oh, yeah.
I prefer to be passenger because I like to take pictures of everything, but you know, I also just like being in control of the situation as well sometimes.
Yeah.
Highly recommend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I need to get a
One of
bike
these
too.
days.
Trying to get a bike one day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day could be sooner than later.
You never know.
You never know.
Maybe tomorrow.
It
could
could
be
be
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I want to thank everybody for your participation. But first, I know we have some people that are on here. Is there anybody that's viewing that has any questions for Wes, Yeafer, or Jared? Yes, no, maybe, no. Okay. Going once. Going twice. Okay, 3 times a lady, we're done. Thank you, everybody. I will send y'all the link once it's like fully on YouTube. I mean, it is live, but make sure that it's still there steady, and then y'all can share it. And don't forget, you can put this on your CV that you're a panelist and it looks good. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Just
Well,
cut
thank you,
just cut
TT.
that part of my interview.
Wes, Jared, it is a pleasure to talk about video games, and this is my world. This is me
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
day.
Are you in
And
our,
I'll be
in our Discord?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yes.
He's also in my people that have my personal cell phone number, and we
Oh,
text
good.
club because we're gonna talk tomorrow.
You can
Yes,
join
sir.
in texting him at 3 a.m. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot. Thanks
Take
for having
care.
us.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. I need to get meeting chat. TTRMSP. I was trying to get your gamer tag. You said you play Battlefield, sir?
Yeah, are we still recording?
I will stop the recording now. It is stopped.
Sorry, I was in here via Wes's invite. Yeah, I have 80,000 hours in the Battlefield series across
Oh, hell
2001.
Hell yeah,
It's,
man. I was ranked number 4 when Battlefield 6 dropped opening weekend, and I just been grinding. I lost my position because I went to LI, but the Battlefield's my life, man. Gauntlet all day, Conquest. I'm not really into the red set because it's not all that, but Gauntlet, Conquest all
Yeah.
day. That's all I do.
I've got 2 of the Guinness Book of World Records best shots in a tank. I'm a tank and helicopter pilot. I can put a tank on the side of a mountain and take out helicopters from across the
Oh,
map.
that's wild. Yeah, I definitely gotta play with you, man.
I do the stupid stuff.
Hell, that's all I'm all about, man. The
Do you
stupid.
remember Bad Friends Gaming back in the early days of YouTube?
Yes, I do. I do remember. I didn't really watch YouTube like that, but I do remember the OG.
I was the pilot that they recorded jumping out of the helicopter, planting C4, detonating a tank, and then rolling off the side of the mountain and getting into another vehicle and then killing somebody else. I used to do the wild stuff, man. I built
dude.
a gaming community of over 2,000 people in a gaming clan back in the day. It was
Hell
a
yeah.
lot of fun.
Dude, I am definitely down to play with you sometime.
I'm the founder of the Always Give Back Military's Veterans Charity. We build gaming PCs for disabled veterans, 100%
That's dope.
free.
That is sick. That is sick. I actually just really got into gaming PC, like PC gaming, like probably like 5 years ago. So it's a new venture. I love the modding. I'm actually playing Fallout: The Tale of Two Wastelands, combines
yeah.
Fallout New Vegas. and
Wait.
3.
Are you playing Battlefield 6 on PC or console?
Mostly on console, but I have it on PC as well. I
All
play
right.
on PC.
I was going to say we can't be friends if you're not playing it on PC. It's
No,
so
I
much
got it on
better.
PC. No, I'm playing on PC. I play.
Hell
No,
yeah,
I got
that's
you.
great, man. Yeah, join
Yeah.
the community, and I mean, you'll see me in ALG's Discord, and then there's our Discord as well. But that's pretty cool, dude.
Hell yeah, definitely. Well, thank y'all. It was a pleasure. Good to see y'all, Francisco.